Hey everybody, welcome to GameTime. My name is JJ, and this is another episode of Classic Game Collecting 101. And in this episode, we're going to talk about the little numbers that are found on the back labels of Nintendo games in general. There are other games that they come on, but we're going to talk about those little numbers that are imprinted right there and right here, okay? So on the top left corner of most Nintendo games, you're going to find a little imprinted number. It's a little bit hard to see, but I just picked a random game. I got Mario 3 because I can use it for two examples. That number that's printed on the back of a Nintendo cartridge, like here's a Zelda, and it's got the number there. It's just it's hard to see. It's hard to see sometimes. It's, you know, it depends on the cartridge itself and the condition, but that number means what factory this Nintendo cartridge was made in. Like, you know, it could be in Mexico, it could be in one of the states, it could be, you know, in Sri Lanka, it could be all over the place. Like, some of them could be made overseas, whatever, you know what I mean? But that number all gets traced back to a certain factory that this cartridge was produced in. So that's the down low on the top left-hand little numbers. So they range, like I've seen them go from 0, 1 all the way to, you know, in the 30s. So and not every number, I've never found every number, you know, so I don't know if there is actually, you know, a number for, you know, 1 through 30 or 40 or whatnot, you know what I mean? So that's what that number means in the top left corner of your games. They are also present on Game Boy Advance games. They'd be in the bottom left, mostly around this area. It's very hard to see, you know what I mean, in this case, you know what I mean. But they do have them as well. Old Game Boy Color games will have them right there as well. You can kind of see it there, you know. And yeah, it's most Nintendo games will have them. So something to look out for if you're really wondering what those little numbers do. They don't really add anything to your, you know, value of your collection, but they give you a little bit of insight about where your game was made. So it's cool. So now we're going to talk about this letter. Okay, you can see it pretty good right there. That letter means that this cartridge was updated. So it's a second version, you know, like a second print run, we'll call it, of this game, okay, of Super Mario 3. We all know Mario 3 is a popular game, probably got, you know, printed a whole bunch of times, you know what I mean? So if it doesn't have a letter here on one of your cartridges, for example, say I'll grab another game here and it doesn't have a number. So this would be the first print run of this game, of Punch-Out. I just picked a random game and it was Punch-Out. That one doesn't have it. See, this one has a number 12 factory, so I don't know, you know, where that is. I'd have to look it up, but notice that there's no letter here, so this is an original, you know, print run of Punch-Out. Now, Mario here has an A, which would mean that this was the second print run of Super Mario 3. So it's a cool little things to know about, because depending on which version of, you know, which print run of the game you have will depend on if you're trying to do certain glitches, or, you know, there's a game-breaking glitch or something like that that, you know, screws with your game or something. The makers of the game will usually, you know, print a new, you know, print run of the game, and that's what happens here. I've seen these go, you know, A, B. It's very uncommon to see a C or a D or anything like that. I haven't seen too many, but A and B's are usually your most common ones that you'll find. A good example of a game that has a game-breaking glitch would be the original Castlevania for normal Nintendo. It is actually in level 15, there's a game-breaking glitch that if too much stuff, you know, goes on the screen, your game will freeze. The game has no password option. That early in the series, there was no password option. You had unlimited continues, but that's not going to help you much if your game is frozen. So they had to revise the game and make it so that you can, you know, pass that level without getting frustrated, you know. It's bumming. You get that far and, oh, the game just says, nope, you cannot go any further. So game-breaking glitches are one of the things they fix, or exploits and stuff. Legend of Zelda games usually have a lot of revisions as well, you know. Does this one have it? This is a second print run of Legend of Zelda. You can see that there's a letter A there. Don't get confused with this letter A, which is what I'm talking about, this little imprint, and this Rev A, this doesn't mean anything. Any Nintendo game will have that Rev A, thing in it on it. You know what I mean? That's not what you're looking for. These are just random games I'm picking, and this is not what you're looking for. You want the imprinted. The imprinted is what you're looking for. So yeah, I hope I taught you a little bit about your Nintendo cartridges and where they may have been made and stuff. It's a fun little thing to know. Like I said, I'm not anal enough to collect every single version of every single game, A, B, whatever, you know what I mean? I just like to play my games and have them for the collection and stuff. But, some of you might not know about this stuff, and I did do an episode about this before, earlier in my YouTube channel, but I thought now would be a good time to kind of spruce it up since it came back up into conversation. So, yeah, look out for that kind of stuff. If your game's glitching out, maybe you just need a newer version of that game, or if they made a new version of that game. So, peace out, happy gaming, and we'll catch you guys on the next episode.